Welcome to the all-new That Business Show 2.0. I'm your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Today, we're going to be talking about time management with Chad Cooper. He is a legendary lifestyle coach and author of the new book, Time Isn't the Problem, You Are, 4 Strategies to Turn Stress into Success. So, Chad, welcome to the program today.
Thank you very much. I love what you guys are doing, and frankly, I love the backdrop here. Your stage is very cool.
Thank you so much. So first off, tell us a little bit about your background. You're a legendary lifestyle coach. Now you're a newly published author. First off, how did you find the world of coaching and helping others?
Well, it's interesting. I retired the first time around at 35. It didn't last for more than probably 3 months because I'm what you call a recovering type A personality.
Right.
I tried to retire and couldn't stay still.
Oh, you say you failed at retirement. So
that's right. That's right. Actually, I say that I succeeded at retirement because my friends were constantly harassing me saying, dude, you're not on the golf course. And I'd say, wait a minute, when you retire, is that where you really want to be? And they said, no. I said, then why are you putting your expectations and standards on me? I think the real definition for most people is being able to do what you want to do on your time frame. So that's what I'm doing. I would say I'm still retired, but I am probably more productive and busy than the vast majority of people.
So you went into retirement, you came out of retirement. Did you immediately go into helping others? Did you have another a career between then? Tell me about that.
So since my retirement in the IT industry, I have been SEC certified, Securities and Exchange Commission, and did the whole gambit of licensing there. Did extremely well in that role, so well that they wanted me to actually take over the state of Michigan. I said, look, I've done the executive thing. I'm not interested. I have bought and sold businesses, apartment complexes, and had 1,000% returns. And then I have gone out and received my ICF certification, what is called International Coaching Federation. So what you would consider the global standard for professional life coaching. And as a result of that, a organization, the #1 coaching organization in the world, reached out, and I was the fastest person to go in and partner with that organization and move up to the very top ranks, coaching side by side with a very famous, known as the father of coaching, and really help support that organization. So my background was really about when I hit 40, I felt like I peaked. I actually submitted a Guinness World Record for the most accomplished, most popular bucket list items. And I went, tell me that this isn't all there is. I'm 40. I've got 40, 50 years in front of me. And I kept on, listening to people talking about time management. It's really an outdated concept. And the book is a little bit misleading that way because I believe what people are really looking for, Jamie, is how do I make time serve me? And that's something that I've excelled very well at doing for myself. And then I took that formula, worked it backwards to test and make it work for other people as well.
Who is your ideal client that you work with today, or do you have a niche client that you work with?
Primarily, I've worked predominantly with some of the very wealthy, the very affluent. So billionaires, multimillionaires. I am known to the professional athletic world, NBA, NFL, NHL, etc., and with quite a few Olympians as well. But I found that this is too important of a topic. It's something that affects your career, your business if you're an entrepreneur, your families, and your relationships, etc. And so I wanted to make it really accessible and take that knowledge that I got from maybe some of the very elite and affluent and figure out, is this something that can be made accessible to everyday extraordinary people? And so what I've created is what's called Create Your Legendary Lifestyle. And it's really being able to see the difference. We've seen celebrities, we've seen professionals that just want to make more money or say, once I get to this point, then I've arrived. Only to get there and say, this can't be all there is. So it's really the difference of just making more money versus sucking the juice out of life.
Now, your book, Time Isn't the Problem, You Are, 4 Strategies to Turn Stress into Success. What inspires you to write the book?
Well, that was the I guess for lack of better response, it would be the midlife crisis. I'd accomplished so much. I'm a former regimental Marine, worked for the #1 coaching organization in the world and worked side by side with some of those elite people. I have retired at 35. I've got a long list from the Ironman circuit, semi-pro, major sponsored on down. And I looked at that and said, what is it that I can do? What can I learn from that? Because I need to figure out how to replicate that for the next 40 or 50 years. And so it was really a selfish, like many people who are out there that come up with answers. It's really about serving yourself and figuring out, how do I push forward? How do I continue to be able to pivot and reach new standards? And then I looked at it and people kept on asking, and I said, well, let me see if I can make this something that is replicable. So I see a lot of gurus, a lot of people out there that they figure out a formula, but maybe they have some challenge to make it work across the board for a large number of people. And this does. This has been very tested.
Now, when you're working with people, you know, stress is at the forefront of all of our lives. I mean, it's something that we've just got to deal with. And I don't want you to necessarily reveal those 4 strategies, because I want people to go and pick up your book again over at chaddecooper.com, also available on Amazon. And I'll let you also extend an offer that you have to your listeners. But when people come to you, you say that time isn't the problem, you know, you are. What is it that they need to do? Is it just they're not delegating enough?
Well, there's 4 legs. If you looked at it as a stool, there's 4 legs to this stable seat. The first is that language matters. And what I found is that most of us will have a schedule, whether it's written down, Jamie, it's in our head, or typically it's on a smart device or our computers today. We all operate off of a schedule. The other most common denominator is that we get 168 hours a week. No more, no less. It's 1 week worth of time. And so as Bill Gates and Warren Buffett really best said it in January of this year, Warren Buffett said, I'm the guy that can buy anything, but I can't buy an hour more of time. And so it really comes down to, how do you utilize and make that time the most efficient? So it's not that we're changing per se all the things that we're doing. And that's what a lot of people think is, oh, I've got to get more efficient. It's really first and foremost about the language. And so it's about being able to know what charges our batteries. And once you know what charges your batteries, being able to schedule that in. And we do that through empowering, juicy and delicious language. And so that's really one of the main staples of the book.
Currently talking with Chad Cooper. He's the author of the book, Time Isn't the Problem, You Are. He is a legendary lifestyle coach. And again, you can pick up this book over at chaddecooper.com. Got to take a short break. But when we come back from the break, we'll cover a lot more about how to turn those strategies for stress into success. So you're listening to That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
And we're back to That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Today, we're talking with Chad Cooper, legendary lifestyle coach, about his new book, Time Isn't the Problem, You Are. 4 Strategies to Transform Stress into Success. So, Chad, I got to be honest, I love that tagline right there. It's something memorable. Turn stress into success. Now, you have an offer for our listeners today. Let's talk about that. What do you have available for us?
So today the audiobook launches, and I'm really excited about it because there's a lot of people who are trying to compress time. And so it was really important to get that audiobook out. But for anybody who buys any version of the book, paperback, Kindle, audiobook, if you go to my website, chadecooper.com/challenge, I'm going to actually give every person who buys a copy the 5-day Legendary Lifestyle Challenge. It's a $481 value. It's a 5-day course, and it's really going to see, do you have the foundation to be able to stack multiple levels on top of your lifestyle so that you can actually create it and make it legendary. So I'm really excited about the program, really proud of what it has produced.
Now, who is this book written for? Who can benefit from this? It's not just written for business owners? Is it written for the moms and the students out there? Tell me about who can benefit from this.
There's a lot of just pure universal truths in it. And essentially where people come in is they've looked at all of the maybe 80s and 90s traditional ways of time management. They've achieved, and then they keep on hitting this wall. And essentially it's for people who've reached a point where they've said, I'm tired. I'm frankly, maybe they're bored, or that they're frustrated, or they're in a place of fear saying, I have these opportunities, and I'm afraid if I say no, I'm going to regret that decision down the road. So whether that's a CEO, household mom or dad, or maybe you're running a multi-billion-dollar company, it's really about being able to say, when you get to that point that your nerves are shot, you really don't have any room to learn new stuff, right? Or you have no breathing room. This is actually about making it simpler. So often, Jamie, what happens is people think, oh man, if I'm going to do this, it's this huge boulder and I don't have the capacity. And this is actually learning about how to say yes and versus no. So it's about actually simplifying your life and being able to integrate your purpose with your schedule so that you're actually doing things that charge your batteries while you're actually doing the steps.
How is stress changing, or how is stress being, or how are you seeing stress upon the different generations? I read an article recently that millennials are under the greatest stress of all generations these days. But as you coach and consult with different, people from these different generations, do you see how they handle stress and absorb stress differently?
The biggest thing that I see about millennials is we can take what's called the greatest generation, our World War II veterans, and we can go all the way up with all the other generations between there and the millennials. And we have this belief that you work your butt off and you'll achieve. You put in your time and then you'll get promoted and all things will become. But we've seen people like Robin Williams, Philip Seymour Hoffman, that had celebrity status, had money, they had everything, and yet they weren't happy. The shift is that the millennials see that they need to have purpose for the things that they're doing. They want to know that when they're putting in that effort, that it's charging their batteries. And they actually have more in common with World War II veterans than most people think. And that is that they're nimble, they're able to pivot. So let's say that you're in a project, Jamie. Maybe you have the best resources for phase 1, but you're willing as a millennial to give that up in phase 2 because maybe I have the greater skill set to accomplish phase 2. So they have great ability that people are learning, but they also need to have purpose. And so this actually helps you structure creating 168 hours, a lifestyle that incorporates your purpose rather than filling it with a bunch of have-tos or things that wear you out.
There seems to be a segment of our population that no matter how much, is piled on their plate, they don't seem to feel stress the way other people feel stress. I don't know if you come across that type of a mindset, because they probably aren't the type of people that seek out coaching and consulting. But is there that type of a difference between people that feel the stress and those who just naturally absorb it?
Well, that's essentially one of the key deliveries that I'm able to offer is people who have already learned how to achieve, people who may have the characteristic of being disciplined, but they're lacking joy, they're lacking gratitude. And so there's a couple pieces. One is, yeah, we all need to be self-serving. We need to have a vacation. But if you're using that vacation to run away, to recharge your batteries, maybe you need to look at all the other things you're doing. The other are the people that have achieved, but they're actually looking to say, how do I make that servant leading? So they know how to take care of themselves, but now they need to contribute beyond themselves. And so what this does with being able to integrate your purpose with powerful language is it converts something like a workout. I mean, how many of us look at workout and they're like, oh yeah, I'm so excited about going to do that? Well, I know I'm a little mentally off because I did Ironmans, right? There's no logical reason to ever do one. But the difference is the people who have that joy, who have less stress, are able to take something in their calendar as simple as workout, and they're able to actually incorporate and say, building, for example, my calendar literally says, building slow and strong in order to go beyond. There are others in there that says leading by example to my son, or creating the fitness so I can lead the team across Grand Canyon. So in that is my purpose is incorporated in the subject line. I know what I'm working towards. I can create feelings and emotions in it. And that's a big key. If you're stressed, you're creating emotions and feelings that you want to run away from. And if you have less stress and you're looking at it as fun, you're creating emotions and feelings that you actually want to move towards, you want more of.
Now, you mentioned you did Ironmans. You're a fit individual. I've always struggled with health and wellness, been in and out of fitness programs throughout my life. And I struggle with stress. I struggle with depression, anxiety. But I always know when I'm in those zones of fitness and exercise, that stuff is minimized. And it's a catch-22 because when I'm down and depressed and unmotivated, I can't find that motivation to get into the gym to fix those problems. So it's like a constant catch-22. How do you advise people just with the benefits of just exercising and helping in stress?
Well, I'll give you two things. One is a quote that is intended to make you go, wait, what did he say? And that is it's not our strength that holds us to our purpose. It's the strength of the purpose itself. And so you have to be able to take the time to say, what is the real purpose? Because if it's just the strength of your purpose, you're just using discipline. You're just using short-term, I'm going to push myself because I want to lose some weight. Well, you don't really want to lose weight. So you really have to know, what is it that you want to achieve? Then the second is to be able to say, what is my purpose? And so for a quick exercise, most people I've met, it would be an exception if somebody said, no, I don't want to know what my purpose is. But we think our purpose is a thing. We think our purpose is, a set of something grandiose. But what if I actually told you that your purpose is a feeling? So how do you find out what your purpose is really easy. Look back at the last 2 or 3 happiest moments that you've had in your life. And I want you to write down as much as you can about that, like 2-3 paragraphs for each memory, those happiest memories you had, including in making sure you capture as much emotion and feeling in each of those memories. And when you do that 2, 3, 5 times, 5 memories, and you circle all the feelings and emotions, you're going to start seeing words that keep repeating. Those core words, those core feelings are actually your purpose. And so when we think about the things that light us up, charge our batteries, it's about taking that language and putting it into the workout, into the subject line. So it's not just a workout, but it actually is something you're looking forward to. Maybe it's about, connecting with others, Jamie. Maybe it's about, being held accountable or serving beyond yourself. So when you do that, you find out, what in the heck am I really doing this for? And it moves from I got to do this to I'm looking forward, I get to do this.
I hear a lot of people talking about you got to have the why. Why is it that you do it? And so many people, it's because of their kids, their family. People like me, I'm a single guy. I don't have a wife, I don't have kids. And so I struggle with that whole why factor. Sometimes I wonder why I even do anything that I do. It's like nobody's expecting anything from me. Do you struggle with us single men or single women out there that have that background?
Yes, absolutely. And so it's not about whether you have an immediate family, but who's your tribe? Who are people that are looking up to you? Who are people that are looking for your knowledge or your mentorship? And again, it comes beyond that. I don't have any responsibility. It's all about me. we have to get to a place where we're willing to contribute beyond ourselves. We're willing to grow. And so in that process, we find vehicles that can incorporate, that can allow that to happen at the same time. So maybe, it's your community. Maybe it's your listeners that are struggling with something, and you're bringing in an audience, or you're bringing in a special guest that's going to help them do that. So we all have people that are counting on us, Jamie. It's just about being able to say, am I going to conform to society saying I'm supposed to have 2.3 kids in, white picketed fence house? Get rid of that. Look at what your standards are, and then figure out how you can do that where it brings joy and gratitude at the same time.
At what point do people come to you for assistance? Is it usually when they've hit rock bottom mentally and they're just overwhelmed, or do they usually come to you when they've got things under control, but they're starting to maybe fall apart? When do people seek you out?
So many people will come to me and they're already successful in their own right, but they'll come to me because they've reached a roadblock. Their business is abundantly successful, but let's say that their relationship is on the verge of divorce. So if working with a professional athlete, maybe they have a contract, a $40 million contract renewal coming up, and their game's in a slump. So they're coming to me not to teach them how to play baseball better, or not how to box better, but how do they get their mental game while they're in the ring or on the pitching mound, because mentally they're checked out. Hey, is my spouse having an affair? And the reality is probably, many of those cases they are. And so what I help them do is work with real problems to be able to say, how do we actually move beyond this and make decisions, make choices?
Now, you've written the book, again, Time Isn't the Problem, You Are, 4 Strategies to Transform Stress into Success. It's being released today as an audiobook. You can pick it up at chaddecooper.com, also going to be available on Amazon. So again, pick that book up. It'll have some valuable tips in there, again, for getting the stress out of your life. So Chad, tell me about just writing the book. We talk about that a lot on this program. You're just writing the book and what it does for your business. I know this is a newly released book, but how long did it take to get that book out of you?
Well, actually, the book was pretty easy for me to get out because what I did was unique. I went to a film studio in Hollywood, and I sat in this huge film studio for 3 days and just talked, just kind of threw up all over the camera for 3 days. And then we were able to take all that footage, transcribe it, because I find really my best way of getting my message out is like this, just a casual conversation. And so it wasn't sitting down and typing it the way that maybe people think of in the old typewriter days. I use technology, I use time to my advantage, and I had a lot of fun in the process. Now that being done, you got to polish it and got to do all that stuff. Still took about a year process, but it really helped me get clear on what my message was. Really helped me simplify how I can really impact people. So I'm getting ready to look forward to the next book as well.
Very cool. And we got a couple of minutes left real quick. The offer that you extended currently going on, let's rehash that one more time, please.
Absolutely. So go to chaddecooper.com/challenge. And when you buy the book, then you put in your receipt and you'll get a $481 value. It's a 5-day legendary lifestyle challenge. It is absolutely splendid. It's free when you buy the book. And you'll be able to join a tribe of people to learn how to define your definition of a legendary lifestyle. I look forward to having people join it. chaddecooper.com/challenge to take advantage of that offer. So Chad Cooper, legendary lifestyle coach, and again, author of the new book, Time Isn't the Problem, You Are, 4 Strategies for Turning Stress into Success. Thank you so much for being on the program with me today. Great information and stuff that our users can definitely put into effect immediately. Much appreciated. Thank you, Jamie.
And again, new episodes of this program air each weekday morning, 9 a.m. on thatbusinessnetwork.com. And please connect with us all across social media, facebook.com/thatbusinessshow. Also our YouTube channel at thatyoutubechannel.com. You've been listening to That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.